Okay.
Hi, my name is Louise.
And hi, I'm Emma.
And you're listening to Murder or Myth,
The true crime podcast where not everything is true.
The aim of the game is to find out whether the story is actually a murder or if it's just a myth.
Now, let's get started. Hi, Louise.
Hi Emma, how are you?
Great. How are you?
A little sleepy, but
Just a
getting
tad.
through it.
Just a tad.
Yeah.
Okay. So, my story this week is the murder of the mascot.
Okay.
Okay. So, this story is set in Florida in Panama City Beach area in 2004.
20.
No, it's 2004. So, Caleb Joshua Halley has lived in Florida all of his life, and he got accepted into Florida State College after high school. While attending Florida State College, he became the school's 13th mascot of Chief Osceola. He was
What's Chief Osceola?
The mascot of Florida State University.
Okay. Sorry.
That's just a name. So, he was particularly proud of this I'm having a stroke.
Accomplishment,
as it gave a nod to his Seminole and Creek Indian heritage. So he was part Native American, as was the mascot.
This is a murder.
What?
Okay, sorry, I need to catch my breath.
Yes, to confirm, this is a murder story.
It's actually...
No, it's just like a murder story.
Okay.
You said this is a murder.
Okay.
Like,
I need to
you
calm
ready?
down.
Okay. Yeah.
What did you... Oh yeah, sorry.
We're getting high on sleep
I'm actually...
deprivation.
And I hate giggling during it because it really annoyed me the last day. I was like, I need to take this seriously when I was editing it. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Edit all that
So
out.
he was part Native American.
Okay.
It was his heritage. The school mascot for Florida State University was Native American mascot.
Okay.
So he was like, I'm proud of that. I'm the mascot now. So
Did he have to get picked, or did he just... Did no one really want to do it? Like, it was just...
no, like he would there was rigorous like training on board.
Rigorous.
Okay. He took this role seriously for 4 years until the end of his college degree time. After this, he began working at Buddy's Seafood restaurant in Florida. He worked here with former college mates and friends. And he worked there for 7 years until 2015, until his premature death. So in June of 2015, Caleb was working on a Tuesday, his normal shift at Buddy's. He was working this particular shift with a co-worker called Orlando Ricardo Thompson. The two were roommates during college. Orlando was making gumbo when Caleb approached him, and the two began arguing about the spices he had added to the meal. The two men quickly armed themselves, and a heated debate escalated. One of them had a knife and the other a chopping board. So they fought, they separated, disarmed and dispersed, and seemingly the fight was ended. Until Orlando returned to the kitchen and then exited again after he procured a foot-long decorative sword. Okay, so now he is looking for Caleb in the restaurant.
Okay.
So he looked for Caleb, he found Caleb, he pursued him with the sword. During the ordeal with the sword, Caleb found a mop handle to try and defend himself against the sword blows.
The sword? Where did he get the sword from? Does anyone know?
Inside the kitchen.
Why was there a sword in the kitchen?
You'll have to ask Orlando that.
Okay.
He had a decorative sword in the kitchen. And maybe it was a restaurant, so unless it was like hung up somewhere.
Potentially, okay, yeah.
You never know these things.
Still, it seems like a little bit of a safety hazard.
Yeah.
But moving on.
Oh yeah, as we have to. So, Caleb suffered a stab wound, which was enough to expose his intestines. He was taken to hospital, however he succumbed to his injuries 2 days later. Orlando was arrested and a trial began. So the trial lasted 4 days and a jury deliberated for 2 hours. They found Thompson guilty of manslaughter and he got life in prison. He is still in jail to this day, and that is the story of the mascot murder.
What was the motive? Just that they had a fight?
The motive was just that the fight escalated and he returned again after it was kind of over.
Like,
so it just seems like a
over
macho,
spices?
Yeah, argument, unless there was something deeper. They were roommates in college. Like, you know, they know the other person. And yeah, seemingly I'm right, you're wrong type situation that they couldn't let go of.
Okay. Did it have anything to do with him being a mascot? Or is that just the way the stories.
Not necessarily, no. It's just the fact that like they knew each other when he was a mascot.
A little bit conflicted. Also, please take out my comment at the start where I was like, this is a murder, but I just got really giggly because I felt like you wouldn't have known. I didn't know that was just such a intense fact to fit in about the mascot being Native American and the correct term from Native Americans and all that. So I was just like, that seems very technical.
Okay. Interesting.
So that off the bat, also the chief Osceola, that you named the mascot that, and also that you knew to name a mascot. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I guess that's kind of obvious, but to me that doesn't seem obvious. But then as the story went on, it seemed less like a murder and more like a myth to me.
Okay.
I suppose, like, if you know someone for that long, it seems like a very intense, like, initiation to a fight. Like you said, there could be some background, but the fact that that was what started the fight.
Yeah.
Is very, like, if you know someone for a long time, it just seems like a silly little tiff.
Yeah, that ended up in a death.
And then also it kind of wrapped up kind of quickly towards the end, which led me to believe myth, but then also maybe they just didn't feel like there was relevant detail. I'm gonna go for murder.
Okay. You're gonna go for murder?
Yeah.
Final answer? Yeah, it's a murder.
It's a murder.
Yeah. And it is a murder, and I kind of just I done my usual technique, and I looked up mascot murder, and this came up, and then I slowly found out towards the story that the mascot had literally nothing to do with it, but he was well renowned as like the mascot for the school for 4 years, so like that's why like when he was murdered, unfortunately that's why everyone knew.
Everyone knew him as kind of.
Yeah, it does seem very silly. Like the fight was over, and someone just was like, okay. Let me get this sword.
It seems like an unreasonable fight as well to be having.
Very much so.
But yeah, I just felt in my head that you wouldn't have named it Chief Osceola. I don't know if I say that right.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because it's just like one detail. Everything else definitely could have been a myth.
Yeah. Certain things it's like, well, if I'm doing a murder I have to put in all the details, but it's like, you know.
So fair. Agreed.
Yeah, but I suppose we have to start thinking about these, like, obscure, like, details. Like, you know, like, the deer episode, your regulations that you found. I was like, you wouldn't have found these, like, you know.
Yeah.
But you did find them because it was relevant.
I did find them because it's relevant, yeah. So you
would
have found that out. But I just feel like you...
What if it... See, it could have been a myth and I could have looked that up.
But also, like, the deer regulations was kind of linked to the story, whereas, like...
This wasn't
super linked, and then the mascot wasn't even linked, so I was like, why would you have added that in about the mascot that wasn't even linked to the murder, kind of? It's like, I guess it's like, are the details...
I guess it was kind of obvious, actually.
It wasn't obvious.
Yeah, well, the fact that it's just kind of like, he was a mascot. Oh, yeah, so 7 years later, he worked in a restaurant.
Yeah, but it's... Yeah...
Okay.
To be honest, that isn't what threw me off, I don't think. It was just that I didn't think you'd got about Chief Osceola and the native, like, in his heritage and stuff.
That's so true.
But I guess next time you will.
New insights. New things we can do or not do.
New opportunities.
Am
I right? Insights
them.
to opportunities. Observations, insights, opportunities.
Stop using those words. Let's, like, expand our vocabulary. Yeah, so that's it for this week.
Also, for some reason, I thought... Okay, actually, that's...
You can put it in.
Yeah. I was, like, talking really fast during Turlo Investments, an investment and brokerage firm, and I was like, she's gonna think this is a murder. I'm talking really fast, right? It sounds like it's just facts. You didn't. Anyway, that was last week's episode.
Oh, yes, last week's episode. Go listen now.
If you haven't already. And if you have, listen again.
Spotify, YouTube.
All streaming platforms, really.
Like and subscribe.
Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. It's officially 1 a.m. Let's wrap this up. Thanks for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe.
On this week's episode, Louise correctly guessed my murder story was in fact a murder.
Episode 30 as well, by the way.
Episode 30, slay.
Slay. Find us on all streaming platforms.
Join us next week for another thrilling adventure.
Remember, it's myth until proven murder. Slay.
Thank God. That's done.
I feel really bad about my little outburst in the middle where it's just like, it's a murder.
Also, I thought you were just saying, like, I don't know why. I didn't think you were accusing it of being a murder story. I thought you were just like, is this a murder? Like, I thought it was in reaction to me naming out the Native American stuff. I was like, yeah, it's a murder. Like, what else am I doing here? Like, what?
What am I doing here?